Well, I came in this night after I left, and the lights hit that fence, and there was
You said about 9 foot long.
and oh yeah, it was a long snake,
It hung it
and
on the
they
fence.
hung it where it was just right, with the.
So the lights
Well, I
hit.
could drove right through that fence. I went out the next day, and me and the guys in the motor pool had a little talk about snakes.
So do I remember that there was a time you actually were like around an enemy soldier or something? Was there somebody there that,
It wasn't an enemy, but it was
or
somebody was in the stockade,
in the stockade?
getting out of the stockade.
Oh,
Yeah, you told that story yesterday.
yeah, that was at, that was at Camp Chaffee, Arkansas. I went back through there, the processing, to be wherever they was gonna send me, to,
Said he hadn't been trained in guns at all.
I don't know anything about this. Well, I'd been trained a lot of guns, but they were all,
Yeah,
rifles,
rifles.
and BARs, and all that kind of thing, but
So you had to take
I
his
went down to the stockade to check this prisoner out. That was a deal that I had to do that day. And they handed me this pistol, this Army 45 pistol. And I think about 4 or 5 bullets or something, And I looked at that guy. I said, I don't know a thing about a pistol. So the guy was nice enough, and he loaded the pistol for me and told me how to operate it and everything. All this time, that he was telling me this was at a guard post where they check the prisoners out. And the prisoner's on the other side of this fence waiting to get out to go wherever he was going to go. And I had the buildings he was supposed to go to. Well, after he got out, here I am pretty young, and he's probably 6, 8 years older than I am. I don't know what he was in there for. Anyway, we checked him out down this place, and he walked in front of me. Now, I know he was scared to death I was going to shoot him at any time. Well, we went to this big office down there.
Somebody kept walking in between you, didn't they?
Huh?
Somebody walked in between you, didn't they?
Well, after I got in the office, there was one of these young guys that worked in the office there. He kept walking between me and that prisoner, and I'd move. I didn't say anything. I just moved real quick. Some old master sergeant was sitting back in this office watching all this. Pretty soon he comes up there and he gets a hold of this kid and he says, "You get in front of him one more time, I'm going to have him shoot and kill you."
Who, me?
Well, that kid never walked over there anymore. He walked clear to the other end of the building.
I can't imagine why he would have done that.
Well, he shouldn't have done it, The master sergeant was right about that because I was trying to do my job.
Okay,
I know
so
that when I got that guy back to the place that I checked him out of, I know he thought that was a long day for him.
So I know you've been through some tornadoes. I don't know if there's been any other fires or natural disasters or earthquakes or anything else you've ever been through, but so I know that the tornado hit
Duplex.
the duplex, and that was what year?
That was 03.
03.
Yeah.
Remember little Emily was up here.
Yeah, tell us about Emily
Yeah.
that day, Dad, or somebody.
Jack went over there. He had a lot of work to do, and I had to go to work. And Emily got up that morning to go with him. He asked her, she said, yeah, she'd go. got up that morning, she had her little overalls on, and she was all ready to go to work. It was so cute.
Looked like she looked like somebody's gonna work over there.
And he said every place they went, the banks and every place they went passed out candy, suckers, and she
Well, we went a lot of different places that day, ordering things that you had to have.
You remember
know,
that, Emily?
for that.
It was so cute.
I know that one gal that lived over there was really impressed with
Yeah.
Emily.
She still talked about her several years ago when we last saw
Yeah,
her.
And then a tornado hit Joplin,
Yeah, that
and
was,
tell us about how that affected your family there.
yeah, that was terrible, wasn't it? Shirley and Don had this little place in their bedroom that they had it in 3 years before and had never had any problem, any reason to use it. But it was on the corner of the bedroom and it opened up and you could go down in. It was just very small, going down to the underneath. And they just barely got in there. I mean, Shirley got in and Don just barely made it when the tornado hit. And when they came up out of there, their house was completely gone. All their cars, everything was gone. And they lost 6 neighbors, died. Everybody around them died. And it was terrible.
and the reason for that is it's hard to build a basement in a house in Joplin. And I don't
Not
know,
very many of them have. But now they have the storm rooms now, like they do in all these places out here that, put a big double concrete place you can go into.
Yeah.
but
And Ruth and Jim were the same way. They lived, they didn't think theirs was as bad because the house was still there. And then when the construction people finally got around to coming to check their house out, come to find out the house had lifted up and sat back down. So that's what took them so long to get theirs fixed.
Yeah.
So both couples had to stay in a motel for, Shirley and Don were there for 7 months.
7 months.
Yeah. And Ruth and Jim were there for a long, long time. And it just really changed Jim and Don. I mean, I think that's what caused Jim to have Alzheimer's. He just wasn't, he was a country boy, you know what I mean? Didn't have to go and sit in a motel for weeks and weeks and weeks, And Don was the same way. But Don died of cancer. He had cancer. And Jim has Alzheimer's now. I asked Ruth called yesterday. I asked her how he was doing. She said, a little worse, not gonna get any better,
the place where I was born and raised, that whole area is completely gone.
What was the address of that?
2431 Pitcher.
We lived at 2321 Pearl, and that was all gone.
It's all wiped away.
Completely nothing, yeah.
Hmm.
And I went to Irving School, and it was demolished, and South Junior was
I think
demolished.
the school I went to, Alcott, these are great schools.
Yeah.
Well, the junior high, I think, had some problems too, didn't it? South?
South, yeah.
Okay, we're going to go back to another Emily story. Dad, tell us about when Emily, when you came down to Tulsa and took Emily to the playground.
Yeah.
And
I read that long ago, yeah.
Yeah. We went to the playground and I just sat there while she was playing. Now, Emily was very young at that time.
Yeah, I think she was 5 when we went down for her birthday.
Anyway, Emily dragged this lady, she's got this lady following her over to where I'm sitting. And she introduces me to this lady. And we sat and visited for a minute and went on. This lady didn't even belong in that playground,
She didn't know.
but she had brought her kids there to play. And it was really just for that area that was right there, but she didn't live there. She lived someplace else. But
It was cute.
Emily was very good with people.
And then we talked about when Emily, on her 5th birthday, we all went out to eat. Jack always got a big kick out of that. The waiters all came around and sang that song.
Is it Applebee's?
Applebee's.
Applebee's.
I don't know, but I've been told somebody here's growing 90 old. You were 5 years old. Remember that?
Did you have a story you wanted to hear?
Gary told the sprinkle story.
Oh,
Yeah, I told the
story.
sprinkle story.
Oh, that's what, okay.
What was the one about Sarah when you lived down there in Oklahoma?
It's a sprinkle story. Is that what you mean?
Oh yeah, the sprinkle.
that was
story.
in Wichita.
Yeah, I read it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see.
I want to know more about what it was like raising Terry and Gordon and my mom. What was that like when they were in high school and when they were little? Did they ever do anything funny or rambunctious, or what were they like with each other? Because I know you guys lived in this house, so and they all shared a room, so I'm sure that they got into some
Yeah, they
funny situations
finally we
there.
got the bedrooms upstairs. Then Gordon had a bedroom in there, but
Yeah.
something I'm always telling people is when Gordon and Tracy were little, Tracy liked to work puzzles. You know,
Okay.
she always worked puzzles, and she'd have a puzzle going. But Gordon did not like to work puzzles. But every time she'd start a puzzle, he'd take one piece of puzzle and hide it. Remember that? I tell that all the time. And he'd
Oh my
tie it
goodness.
until she got it all put together, and there'd be one piece missing, and then he'd go get it and put it in. like he'd
Like
worked.
he did it.
work
He
the
finished
puzzle.
it. Yeah.
It was supposed to be good luck to put the last piece in, so he'd hide it.
Oh, Gordon. And Terry was older, right?
Yeah, she was 4 years older than Gordon.
4 years older than Gordon. Okay.
And they were 16 months apart, so they were close.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering that. So what was Terry like? Since I mean, like, I never knew her, so.
Yeah, she
what
was.
was she like?
She went to work at Macy's, didn't she, when she was 16? They opened that shopping center down there,
Indian Springs.
Indian Springs, and she went to work at Macy's, and she liked that, really well. She did.
Yeah.
In fact, that's where I went in and had my ears pierced. She did.
She did mine at the kitchen table.
Yeah, she did hers.
I don't know if we told you that. I don't know if you knew that.
No,
but
I
we were going to do it.
I don't. No, I didn't know until later. And the time that Pam's cousin Jeff told you he had some training in cutting hair.
He worked for the barbershop.
Barbershop. Said he worked for a barbershop, and he got her. He was going to trim her hair for her. He got her all set down, put the thing around her and everything around to cut it. And I thought, oh my gosh, But he
Okay.
didn't. He just trimmed just a little bit of.
That's funny.
He died. You do that, didn't
Yeah.
Who's that?
Jeff Reinecker.
Jeff Reinecker.
Oh,
So tell us the story. I know when we first moved here, Terry was pretty smart, and she won a spelling bee or something at the school. And did she?
That was.
Or was that in Joplin?
That was in Joplin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She won that spelling bee. I went to. It was kind of a neat thing when I'd never been to a spelling bee to know what it was, but she won. What she won? She won a 2 or 3 things, a billfold, and things
She
that
won a Barbie, I think.
Barbie, something like that.
And it was the city spelling.
It was a city.
She won for the city
City.
Wow.
in Joplin.
So how old were the kids when y'all moved here?
Okay, they were 6 and 8. 6 and Gordon was in 2nd grade.
Okay.
And Terry was in 6th.
Oh.
So she was about 11.
Okay.
And what was her personality like growing up? Like, do we have a peacemaker and a bossy one? And
Well,
you know how you have
the
different.
kids, no, the problem was that the girls would always gang up against Gordon. You kind of felt sorry for him because they were girls and he was a boy,
Yeah.
and it was always 2 against 1, kind of, whatever the deal was. But
Yeah.
he got so he held his own pretty good,
He got big.
He got bigger. But
So I know Terry had a pet or something. What kind of animals did you have here when they were growing up?
What?
Animals.
Animals did you
That's what I
have in
think,
this
what-
house? I
what-
know Terry
Well, I
had a dog.
remember one that we had a Siamese cat.
that's
Do
one
you
where
remember
it has
that?
a short,
Kind
doesn't have a tail, yeah. But see, Terry had asthma, so she couldn't have be around
And we
cats.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
We didn't know that was causing a lot of problems with her.
She-
And we
What?
had to get rid of
Well,
farming.
we knew she was allergic to furry guinea pigs, the fuzzy kind with all the hair.
Yeah.
But that Gordon had some guinea pigs, and she didn't seem to be. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that when you'd open the refrigerator door, they'd squeak, they'd squeal,
They'd go in
because
there.
they knew they was going to be
They'd
fed.
run into the kitchen.
They knew they were going to be fed, and they'd
Never heard
squeal. But except Gordon made the mistake one time of feeding them cabbage instead of lettuce. I think they died.
They died? Oh man.
Yeah, they can't eat cabbage. That's gas or something to their
Yeah.
stomach.
Oh man. It's not good.
And then
Oh, we got that.
tell about bringing the Chihuahua home. Didn't you set it in his chair or something?
Yeah, it was. Terry was going to go look at some dogs. Somebody had them, or it was in the paper or something. And I said, "Now, Terry, don't get one unless it's cute. Unless it's cute." And so she came home with this little Chihuahua, and it was cute. But
Oh my goodness. Do you have a favorite memory of Terry? When she was like maybe younger or with the kids or anything?
yeah, I thought of something a while ago to tell, and I forgot what it was. But she, well, on that sheet, you know, the crocodile story.
Yeah.
It said about the crocodile story. Jack and I went to, we won a trip to Colorado, and she stayed with grandmother and granny while we were gone. She was just tiny, 2, 3, something like that.
Yeah.
We came back, and she kept saying she wanted to read a story, or she'd bring a book, you know, or you knew she wanted to read a story. And she said about the crocodile. And she kept saying that, the crocodile. And I said, Terry, you'll have to say that plainer, because I don't understand what it is. And she'd say, crocodile. You know, just real big and clear, you know, crocodile. And so, I mean, it was several days before we realized that she was, grandmother had read her something about a crocodile, you know, that the crocodile's what she was talking
Oh my gosh, she couldn't say it. That's cute.
about. She tried to say crocodile.
Well, I'm curious about you had some aunts. I know that. I don't know if your parents had brothers or not, but tell me like just the personality of some of your aunts, like Aunt Opal. I mean, I vaguely remember them, but what were they kind of a little bit like?
We had Aunt Opal. There were, I think, 6 people in that family. That's my mother's brothers and sisters. And there were only 2 out of that group that had children. And they were the 2 that died young.
Aw.
And the rest of them, you know. But Uncle Bert was the brother. But then there was Aunt Leela, Aunt Opal, and several like that. But
Were you around them a lot? Did they?
no,
were
they lived in Aurora, so they weren't.
They all lived in Aurora.
Yeah, Aunt Opal's husband, Charlie, he came by with a house one time, and in a big old, he worked for Camel's Express or something, some big truck company he drove, and this great big truck drove up to the house, and he brought in this turkey in this cage. He brought us a turkey for Thanksgiving.
A live turkey?
Live turkey.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we had it out in the backyard for a long time. And so we kind of got attached to it. So we didn't want to kill it by Thanksgiving.
Oh my
so
gosh.
so Grandma didn't kill it then. So she said, well, we've got to kill it for Christmas. I mean, it's not going to live out in the cold weather for all winter. So when she got ready to kill it, there was a tree stump out in the yard, and she had a little hatchet, little axe, and she's about like Granny would have been, you know. And so that turkey laid its head down like that. She just chopped its head off.
Oh my god.
Turkey wouldn't let any of us out
It
in the
was
yard.
ready to die.
Yeah, it was ready.
Did you eat it?
She cooked it for Thanksgiving, for Christmas that year.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it was, it was. That's why she didn't want us to get attacked, but
So she was pretty strict, your grandmother.
yeah, she was very strict.
Yeah. And you grew up with her?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But your dad lived in the house too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, she was. But when we were little, we played jacks and roller skates and jumped the rope and things,
Mhm.
outside things mostly, you know.
Yeah.
That's what you did back then, you know.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a bicycle, so we didn't ride. We were really poor, so we didn't have a bicycle. And then I think we finally got a bicycle when we were in high school or something. Somebody gave Jean one or something. She was the oldest.
Yeah.
So when you were on this farm, Dad, did you milk cows or do any of that? Did you have cows?
I never could learn to milk a cow.
Oh,
I tried. I just couldn't get it done.
so that wasn't your chore. Couldn't get it done.
Well, my grandmother was really good at milking the cows. She had about, probably 5 cows that she milked, 5 or 6. And they all come in at the right time every day from the fields, wherever they live. They just knew to come in, I guess.
Yeah. Did you ever know your grandfather, her first husband? Was he living when you?
Well, no, I didn't.
He was dead by then, wasn't
He was dead and she'd been married again, and he died.
Did you ever meet him?
Oh, you're talking about your grandmother?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not sure I ever did. They bought this farm in Arkansas, and they were down in Arkansas, and he was something to do with a great big limb that he was trying to cut out or something, and it came down and hit him and killed him. And she was down there by herself for quite a while. I know we drove down there several times to the farm in Arkansas, and then she sold that farm and moved to south of Joplin there. Was out there on a farm.
And then the grandparents on your other side,
The Gregories,
he was a twin, right?
yes.
And played baseball
They were ball players, yeah.
for the old miners league or something.
That's a good story.
And I guess, I think he was a pitcher, and his brother was a
Catcher.
catcher, but he was also a good hitter, his brother was.
Tell the story about them changing places.
And they would, they'd fool people because they looked just alike. And when it come his turn to bat, the other brother would come in and somehow he'd bat where my granddad was supposed to bat.
Switch numbers
Well,
or jerseys or whatever.
But they got caught because
but they got caught something to do with the shoes. I don't
one of them
remember.
had on a pair of new shoes or something, and somebody caught that was who was batting instead of the other.
And wasn't there a sports announcer that talked about that on radio or something?
Yes, and I can't remember what his name was, but he was a national.
Somebody like Harry Carey.
Harry Carey or somebody
I think
Yeah.
I think it was Harry Carey.
talked about
Could have
the.
been, I don't know. I can't remember now. It's been so long ago.
And you said, you told me one time you saw the twin, when you remember seeing the twin, but didn't
He
know
came to our
didn't
house
know
or
it was
something,
yeah.
and I didn't think it was my granddad, but I wasn't sure.
It looks much like.
And he come around, he'd stopped in front and come around the side of the house, and I was in the backyard. And I saw, that was when I first saw him, and I thought, doesn't quite look right.
But you didn't know he was a twin at that point.
No, I really didn't even know he had a twin brother at that time.
Huh.
But, I don't know, my granddad, Gregory, died when I was in the service. I was in basic training, and I had no way to get out at that time to go to the funeral or anything, so I don't know anything about what happened there.
And is he the one they called Papa and Mama?
Papa,
Okay.
Mama and Papa.
But he was not.
That's what I call him.
He was not a minister then. It was his dad that was a minister.
Yeah, his dad was a
His
minister.
dad was a minister. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, can you think of anything else you want to add in? And
Vacations.
did you had, you know, we didn't go on lots of vacations growing up, but you guys have traveled some when you were in the service and stuff. What were some of your favorite vacations you
Well,
went on?
we went on our 45th wedding anniversary. We went to Hawaii for a week, and that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
We Joyce and Don Punt that went to our church, they lived in Hawaii, and they came back and they were talking about they wanted us to come over. And I said, well, we thought about planning to do it on our 50th wedding anniversary. And Don said, why wait till your 50th? He said, why don't we do it next year? And that was our 45th. So we did. We went over and we had it was really nice.
Then we,
We went to Bahamas one time.
well, while we was there at Hawaii, we also, because that's islands, you know, and they lived on Kona, the Big Island.
Big Island.
And then we left, we flew to
Honolulu.
Honolulu, where Honolulu is, because we wanted to see the
Memorial.
memorial on what was the
Arizona Memorial.
Arizona.
Mhm.
And we went out there they had to take you by boat out there, and the Navy does that.
Because our friend Molly Kent had written a book about her brother was killed on the Arizona, and she'd written the book. And we went into the library to see if we could find the book, which we did. And that you did the same thing, and you had a picture of it. And we had taken a picture of us holding her book.
But anyway, when we were coming back on this boat, this gal was, who was in the Navy, she was driving the boat. We sat up there by her. I said, is this a pretty good job being in the Navy? Excellent.
Good job. Good job.
She loved that job, driving that boat up and down the waterways there.
And one year we went to the Bahamas, and it was Courtney with Gordon and Pam.
Yeah.
Gordon, Pam, Courtney, and Jack and I went to the Bahamas for a weekend, and Courtney was 1. She just walking, and Pam was pregnant with Brooke. She had, in fact, that was in Mother's Day, and then she had Brooke in June, so it was pretty close to the time. So, but we had fun over there. She was a tiny little thing. They weren't really prepared for a baby. The place we stayed, even though we were only there 2 nights, they didn't have a baby bed. They had to push the beds up against the wall to put her in there. And then we went to one of the restaurants we went to. They didn't have any high chairs, so they set clean towels up on the chair and set her up on top of them. And I thought, well, that's great. They're gonna have to wash all those towels again because we're eating pizza and stuff.
Yeah. That's funny. Didn't you guys go on like a long road
We
trip
did
vacation?
a driving vacation one time.
Oh yeah, when we went to New York.
Did you have a new car or something? I can't
I can't
remember.
remember why we particularly went
Was
to
it
New
that
York.
Pontiac or?
Oh, we had a big Chrysler in New York.
Oh, was that it? Okay.
We went to New York.
You drove to New York?
And
Kansas City?
that was Gordon.
Gordon was 16.
He was 16
Because he
because
had got his
he was
license.
driving,
Oh, man.
and he was driving.
Oh, it was right after Terry got married. Terry and Rick got married, and then we decided to go on that trip. Yeah,
But they didn't go with us.
No.
But grandmother did.
grandmother went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember that we were coming from where we was going, but we was going to go to New York City and just drive through the city
Just drive
and
around.
see everything, you know, and then leave. Well,
Gordon was watching the map.
Gordon was watching, well, he was driving, but he says, I don't believe I want to drive up here. And so we stopped and we traded. Well, where we went to get into New York City, was underneath a body of water or some kind, and you went underneath the whole body of water
Forever.
forever, yeah. It was a big
And
tunnel.
all these trucks and everything was
And man,
it was awful.
I was
Scary.
driving right beside of this great big truck.
It was
Oh, it was scary. But we got in. And we got inside New York City, and I remember that was, and you was there, Tracy.
Remember that guy on the corner that we saw?
We was watching him.
Eating out the
We
trash.
we stopped at a street stoplight, and he drove in there, and he was going through this garbage can and pitching this stuff out,
Eating stuff out of the garbage can.
and he come to part of this sandwich or something.
None of us could hardly eat for lunch. That's what it was. Had to leave there and go.
Oh,
And then we went back a different way, right? We came down,
Yeah, we did. Went down different.
down kind of along the coast or something, and
Some way different.
came
So
back
we
up
did-
through Kentucky or,
Yeah.
well, we got to see the Statue of Liberty and
yeah.
all that.
Then we saw Atlantic City. I think we were on the coast there. You know, there. That was neat.
And then did you won a trip to Vail one time? Didn't you win a trip and we went to Vail in the summer or something, or somewhere in Colorado?
Yeah.
We took the dog,
Oh, yeah.
Kiki, or
Yes.
Chi-Chi.
Kept her in a suitcase or
In a
bag
bag.
of some kind. Yeah. And grandmother stayed with you and let's see, you and Gordon. I
In
don't
a
know if
room.
Terry was there or not.
Yeah, we were all there.
You were all there. Okay.
Yeah.
Cause see, we had our hotel place and then we had to find, got another
Yeah,
place.
we
for
might
you
have all
guys
stayed
to-
in the same room.
That was in Vail, wasn't it?
That's
I think
Vail.
Vail.
Yeah.
And one night,
Oh, that's when we went up to
we went up to
the Eagle's Nest.
Eagle's Nest, which is up on,
Way up high.
and you had to go up on one of these gondolas
Yeah.
that they use because in the wintertime, that's where they ski and everything's up there.
I didn't want to go.
Oh, we
I'm a
went.
chicken. And it took me a long time to get on it. Finally got on it and we went clear up there and had dinner and then came back down and then it broke down.
No, it was
After.
starting to lightning and everything, and
Stormy.
it was raining,
We got down.
and we got down, and then that was it. Electricity went off.
And they were swinging up there and there was no
And
lights
They
and they
were,
were
you could hear them
screaming
screaming.
on that
Oh my
gondola.
gosh.
And you were up in those gondolas, you was up high off of the ground. So you look down there and then, it was just like being in an airplane taking off, going up there, That was a trip.
All right. You guys have any other questions? I'm trying to think if there was another Becky or Jack story or a Sarah story.
Let's see.
I don't know, I'm trying to think. Who was the first grandkid was for a great grandkid?
The first grandchild.
Or
was-
grandchild would have been.
Crystal, Misty.
Oh, Misty.
Misty.
Misty would be.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I didn't know if you had any like.
See, they were there were three kids, Terry, Gordon, and Tracy. Terry had 3 girls, then Gordon had 3 girls, then Tracy had 3 girls, and they would just run right after each other and clear down,
Yeah.
until Jack was the last one.
Yeah.
Oh, baby Jack.
Jack's
So-
our only grandson.
Yeah.
So we had 9 granddaughters,
Yeah. It's a lot of girls.
all girls.
Did you have any like, I don't know, since like Misty was the first or whatever, did you have any funny stories about becoming grandparents? Because you came and stayed with Mom when she had kids, and did you have any funny stories or anything that happened when you became grandparents and
Remember that
with
time
Misty?
after Misty was born, and you were in what, college or grade?
Yeah.
College, right? Remember when that formula said keep under refrigeration? Somebody said, does anybody know where formula is? Tracy said, I put it under the refrigerator.
I put it in a dark cabinet because I didn't know what it meant to put it under the
Under
refrigerator.
refrigeration.
Oh my gosh. You put it in a cabinet under the fridge?
Oh, wonder we live.
By the
Miss-
fridge.
Misty, of course, being the first grandchild. And
Yeah.
Gordon and
Worst aunt ever.
Tracy being in high school or
How
college.
she survived that night with me.
High school and college, they had pictures of her every, first one, so like the
Mhm.
first child.
Yeah.
And,
We had a whole photograph book by Sunday
uh,
to show at church of Misty.
Did
Already
you do a
developed.
photo shoot? When was she
Did you
born?
do a photo shoot?
We just took a million pictures and we had them in,
Oh, yeah, Gordon-
stuck them in,
between-
got them developed, stuck them in. And
between
my
Gordon
gosh.
and
their
and
first,
Tracy, they just
first few
had
days of
all
life.
kinds of pictures of Misty.
Yeah.
And then after that, I don't have anybody else.
We
That's
were-
kind
that
of
was
like my
all.
sister Ruth. She had two boys, Jeff and Todd,
Yeah.
and all kinds of pictures of Jeff, And then Todd came along, and they didn't have any pictures. And so Ruth said she used to tell, anytime there was a picture of Jeff walking the other way, she'd say, "Now that's you, Todd." We used to laugh about that.
That's
Toddy,
funny.
that's you, Toddy.
Todd and Jeff, and that's Todd.
Well, tell about when I think it was when Jack was born, and you were down there and you
Yeah.
made pictures for the take to the hospital room or whatever.
Yeah, we were going to. We waited all day. You went in early, and then Patty was going to come down, and she did. She got there, so then we were going to leave as soon as she had the baby. We were going to go by the hospital and see the baby. We had the car all packed and everything, and then come on back home. And we waited, and we played cards, everything, waiting for Jack to be born. You probably remember that. You were kind of little bit.
No, I was like 3, I
Yeah.
think.
So
I
we
don't
made
remember.
the self-portraits on the papers.
Yeah, you had things to
Look
take to the hospital. And so we finally, she finally called. They thought you're going to have the baby, anytime. So we left and we went to the hospital, and then we waited and waited. And I don't think he was born till 11 o'clock or something, was he? I've got it written down I've got all the records for every baby,
Right.
Yeah.
clear down, and all the 16 great grandkids,
The height, the weight, the time.
everything, time.
Mm-hmm.
And so by that time he was late. It was it was 11 o'clock, I think, at night. And
Yeah.
so we decided we didn't want to start out driving back to Kansas City.
Yeah.
And so we went back over to the house, and everybody was in bed. I told Patty we were just going to sleep on the couch, just get up and early leave. She was so surprised to see us back.
Little Jack.
Anything else?
All right.
Okay.
So